Alright everybody, my name is Disc and I run a lot of keys. Thought I would start recording what I do every week just to show other Discipline players the way I approach it. So this is a 22 Mists of Tirna Scithe. Really hard week. We have Bolstering, Fortified, and Quaking. I didn't think it'd be that bad at first, but it was a real pain this week. But this was a pretty good run. So I let everyone get ahead of me. I just don't want the Quaking to break my path. I lay out a feather for myself just to kind of catch up. And this is pretty standard. We're going right into the first Tormentor here. Throw out a couple Mind Soothes for good measure. So I lead with getting all my dots out. There's not really much damage yet. Here we go. I'm starting to attune the group. About to go into my first boon. Make sure you want to attune the tank last. This was a pretty good boon too. I try not to break from boon once I enter. I do allow myself one cast at the end, a Radiance, just to attune the group for the Ascended Eruption. And that was a pretty smooth pull for a pug. Just about over here. There we go. Alright, so our route takes us into the next Tormentor here, which was also pretty standard. I don't like that I'm holding Shadow Fiend for so long at this point, so I'm definitely going to use that here just for some extra damage. I let the first target go out, which is our Demon Hunter, Shadow Fiend Schism. I don't think anyone gets hit here. I just DPS as hard as I can.
Is slain. Now, claim its power as your own.
I always try and get 1 mana power per dungeon. The way this one's fallen, I got the food buff. You'll notice here with a 2-target play, the guy I'm targeting has that extra debuff on his nameplate. That is a Mechanicos trait that lets me damage for a little bit more. You definitely want to track that. It's up to 5% more damage. So we're DPSing these down almost together, which is not too bad. I could have played a little more defensively. I was a little aggressive, but thankfully that eruption came through. The atonement healed me up. The rest of this is cake. Just DPS as much as I can. If you see my party frames, the blue frames are how I track my atonements. It's pretty helpful. Alright, so here we have the Ruth. This is pretty much a cooldown recharge moment for the whole group. I will drop Pain Sup and Barrier. Don't really need those on the boss fight. Yeah, I pretty much rely on just dumping mana here. I'm not going to use cooldowns. Not for this boss. So, I tried to pain set myself before the attack, but it was a little bit of a misclick. It did come through to save me in the end, I think, though. Alright, here we have the first boss. We're on Fortified. Not that big of a deal, but this sets the pace, for the rest of the dungeon. So here we go, full mana. I definitely open right up with a Schism. There's plenty of time to get one of these in just for DPS. Stacking with our Hunter here, just to control the pools a little bit. There's no fear yet, so we're just dodging ground damage. Our tall guy is about dead. Goes into our burn phase. Probably should have PI'd the Demon Hunter, but I went for the Hunter here. You'll see their bars light up when they queue their offensive. And since this is Fortified, I went real aggressive here. I Shadow Fiend, Schism, and Boon. So I just wanted to go for as much damage as possible, just to dump those cooldowns. Looks like I ended at 13-14k DPS there. Pretty good. Time for another Schism here. We don't need the healing, but we'll DPS. Keeping the tank atoned. And here comes a Fear. Trying to get away from the puddles. Just kidding, it's the next one. I think I missed it here, but I try and Feather, anticipating the Fear. It helps me clear the puddles. I think I missed it here, but that's usually my strat. Yeah, we're good anyway. Big guy's about to fall. Last burn phase on the guy. You can get really strong numbers here with a Schism and Shadow Word Death. Just watch your health though. Yeah, that took half my health. It's crazy. And there we go. I think that was pretty good time too. Boom. So we are doing a wall pull here. Overall, we had a pretty good pretty good maze. Room for improvement, though. You'll see a couple places in here where we had loss. But still attacking the guy with the extra debuff. And I go ahead and fade here. Great opportunity to remove yourself from the aggro pool. Toss out another PI on the Hunter, right on cue. Everyone's dotted. I'm going to have a fat Boon. I try not to break from Boon if I can. However, it's always nice to throw in a Radiance to atone everybody before the eruption. It's a great way to top the group. Didn't need it there though. If you're aiming for DPS, Mind Seer is what you gotta do. I booned the first half. There's not much going on here, but just polishing them off. They're bolstered. I always try and type in chat which way because I've done so many of these, I always forget which way. So we went to the right. Here we go. We don't really have any CDs in the group, so I'm just going to go ahead and solve the puzzle. I have this whole solver on the side. Always good to be on top of your dispels here. They're like bombs, so you don't want those to go off. I think I'm going to Schism and Seer here. Yeah, there we go. So that's about as much as I can do. I do have Boon, but not at this point. We're using it next pull. Oh, yeah, so that wasn't great. if you replay that, you'll see the little fox got off his bite. Fucking one-shot me, so excuse my language. But in hindsight, you have to be really quick to respond there. I could have walled and pain set myself. That didn't happen. Another scenario, I could have fear bombed. That would have gotten the bite taken care of. Anyway, not much of a loss. It was just me. Okay, so we're not gonna pain set. I'm sorry, we're not gonna PI here. Definitely gonna use it on the next pull. So the best I can offer is solving the puzzle. I will, however, I'm going to drop Shadow Fiend and Schism just to get some extra DPS on this single target. I find I use Fiend more for DPS these days, but it's a great button. Make sure you roll it. And I'm just going to pump the best I can here. It's kind of a long fight on Fortified. If we had a single target DPS, I would have PI'd them, but not for this. Alright, so this is the door. I think I'm about to save the hunter. Yep, you're welcome. And the big bird is done. Let's go this way. Alright, so we have a lot of cooldowns. We have PI, we have Boon. Everyone has cooldowns here. 5-pack. I think I'll this way. I went ahead and gave it to the hunter. He was the best option, I felt like. I'm sorry, the warrior. And then I'm going to get off a boon too. That's a pretty good boon. Oh yeah. So this one got a little spicy. So that was the second kick we've missed as a group. And where I almost got in trouble there is my Ascended Eruption did not land on an opponent. So there was no heal from it. And almost died, but Paladin had me. Thankfully I had a potion. And I don't solve the puzzles when I boon. I'm just trying to DPS, but I think we figured it out pretty quickly. Yeah. Have to get that DPS out. So this is another seer group. We don't really have cooldowns amongst the group. So I think I dot everybody. And then I Schism my main target. Schism Seer. Always try and spread your dots when you can. A penance will do that. I'll try and penance a target that's dying just to save the time on that dot. It'll spread to someone else. Or you can spread the dot that's greater in duration. I didn't solve there either. I guess I'm a bad healer. Well, they let me die, so that's what's going on. We're going this way. Here we go. We're going straight into the boss. Mana's fine. And I open straight in with Boon. Just want to get that thing going. Debatable. Some people will enter Boon Schism. I like to Schism then Boon. Yeah, that's just what I do. It changes, honestly, depending on the scenario. Sometimes I will Boon first then Schism, just for the output. But with Mechanicos and the Boon Legendary, I try not to break from Boon just to get all the seconds farmed off. So I'll go ahead and atone the group. We're about to have some damage. I immediately saw it was the little butterfly over here, so I don't want to Schism this guy, although that'd be helpful. So we're just pushing through. And then on this round, I Fiend, and here's my Schism. So getting out as much DPS as I can. think I save Schism here too. It's a little bit of an aggressive play, but I'd rather DPS the boss. I don't think I saw the solution immediately, so I just started dotting things at random. I don't think that's a bad play, just until the group kind of leads the way. I think I walled there just because I could. And then I see Boon coming up, so I'm holding the Schism for a little bit. I'm going to get another real fat Boon in here. And so since I didn't break the dog's trap, I am going to try and hit it though. Just to get a little return on Boon. Probably not necessary because we have a delay before the next pack. But I wanted to hit it anyway. And actually usually on this last round, I would Schism in this intermission. But I think here again I played aggressive. I held Schism, gave it to the boss instead. Yeah, here we go. Schism. It's always nice to have a Schism with an empowered death. Real strong. It's how the best you can do. And he's dead. See my little notice to recall my steward. I ran out. Regen some mana. And then look at the chat. The tank said going to do triple. So it's a big pull. But he said we're gonna lust. I think that's what he said. Yeah. So I'm immediately thinking defense here. I'm gonna have to pull back a little from the offense. Just because my job as a healer is priority 1, DPS the second. But I thought I faded, but I pulled aggro somehow, just knocked him off me with Shining Force. And so a pack this large, I've started to favor just doing Novas and not doing the blast anymore, at least until the pack gets smaller. I thought it was possibly more DPS that way. So you'll see we all live here except for this warrior. I think he dies like 4 times, which is crazy. Dots fell off. Let's redot everybody. Warrior came in for his second death, so that's cool. And I think I'm about to atone everybody. Schism Seer. That ground damage. Yep, there goes the warrior. Getting some more Seer out. So they're all pretty even health here, which is great. I think I swoop in with an Arcane Torrent there. That was nice. Pain Sup was really good timing there for the tank. And to be honest, when I watched this back for a second time, I noticed my boon just came up again. The way this pack is looking, if I had noticed that, I would have booned again. I don't really think there's ever an opportunity where like holding boon is the answer, especially with the way you get seconds back. So if I had noticed, I would have booned again just for the DPS, but yeah, especially since I'm low mana, boon would have been great. But used it on the next pull, got full value there too. Yeah, gave a punt. These guys are bolstered. I wanted them off the tank. It's a nice defensive move. I think I got 2 dispels there just to get that shield off, so that's cool. Refort the warrior. Drink. And then this pull, I think he took the birds with these bugs. No, he didn't. I'm mistaken. But I still booned here. So, got another PI out. Going to the hunter this time. I try and monitor the overall DPS to kind of judge who in the group might be best for PI. There's also charts out there that break down numbers, like theory crafting. Sometimes literally just the first person who pops gets my PI. If we're pressed, I just kind of have to get it out. But I try and decide those things before the key starts, just to align that spell, maximize it. Yeah, so this 2 pull's a little weird. Yeah, I get Shadow Fiend out here just because I thought we could take a little DPS. This is a time sink doing a 2 pull like this, so yeah, Shadow Fiend, Schism. Notice I'm targeting the one with that extra debuff. That's my Mechanicos DPS increase trait. Yeah, so you make sure you want to track that, target that person. And let's see what he does here. Yep, I lead with Fade. So Fade's great. As long as he's not shielded, I'll fall below his aggro even if it's a body pull. So yeah, with all these larvae out, I'm just straight novaing. I'm not even doing blast. But now I start leaving blasting just because the pack isn't as big. And if you notice, I had a full 99 stack of my Ascended whatever it is, so that was cool. Getting my dots back out. Let's see what I do next. Yeah, Schism, Seer. The more you can get Seer in, the higher your DPS will be. It's not too bad healing a tank with Atonement when everything's dotted and you have a Schism Seer. It can get you through quite a lot. So you might notice at this point, I don't really favor Rapture. If this were a key for IO, I'd probably be using that a little bit more. It's really useful, but I've started looking at it as a spell that does not increase my DPS. So I don't use it as much. I try to rely on other things, but yeah, here we go. Getting a big boom in before the boss. Start with Novas, just get the larva, then I start working into blasts afterward. I think we are 1 pull shy of %, but we did go into boss here. And we had a pretty clean boss attempt. My bad. We're doing trash. So another thing to notice, when I go into Boon, I definitely try and utilize Shadow Mend Shield. The way Atonement backloads on Shadow Mend, you can get 2 Atonements out in the same global cooldown. So it's a really useful strategy, and it, if you're breaking down the numbers, it does improve your output slightly. So it's one of those things. Good to do it when you can. Yeah, Boon is so great. You can pretty much do it every pull with Mechanicos and the Legendary. Yeah, it's nice. I think I threw in a punt, just I don't know why, probably shouldn't have. Sometimes I actually like the sound of it, so. Okay, now it's boss. Full mana. Here we go. We skipped Sagadon, so the bugs are gonna hurt, ground damage is gonna hurt. So, I am a little more conservative with my cooldowns on this boss. There are key moments where I want healing, so I don't just go balls to the wall for DPS. So I'm holding my Boon, I'm holding my Fiend, even holding Schism. So I think here I'm throwing out a few Atonements. Yeah, here come the larva. I'm going to go into a Boon, trying to hit him as much as I can. We're trying to get those seconds back from each contact. I didn't really need anyone atoned there, which is great. The less you have atoned, the more damage you do. Definitely use a feather to get out of there. So I don't usually dot the little ads, but I've been doing that lately. Spread the dot to the last one with that penance there. It's always a nice way to utilize penance. It's one less global. Yeah, so this one was just for damage. I Shadow Fiend Schism. I could have delayed it a little bit and that would have helped this area, but still no problem. Cool. So it looks like that Paladin did lay on hands there. No reason to hold it. That was a really good play. Give me a bot. I think I'm going to dot him and serum. Yeah. Get those things down. A little more DPS. This hunter's helping me out, I think. Nope. All for himself. Boone's back. Boss is almost dead, but let's get some DPS. So this is when we notice we're 99%. RIP. And we're going to kill a bird. And as far as this week went with the affixes, this was about the cleanest dungeon I had, and this is a Monday, the last day of the week. It was a tough week. So excited for the rotation. And yeah, that was Discipline Priest, Mists of Tirna Scithe, level 22. My name is Disc, and catch you on the next one.